Meghan Markle launched her first ever podcast series, Archetypes, in late August. The Duchess of Sussex has released the sixth episode of her podcast series, titled Breaking Down the Bimbo with Paris Hilton, during which she explored the label of bimbo and dumb blonde often used to diminish or discredit women. Meghan opened this week's show by recalling her time on Deal or No Deal, the quiz show in which she took part as one of the briefcase models prior to finding success as an actress in Suits. Prince Harry's wife candidly admitted she was happy and thankful to be able to work on the show as an aspiring actress, it was providing her with a secure paycheck while waiting for her big break. However, the Duchess added, she eventually quit the program as she was not comfortable with the fact that it entirely focused on her appearance, to the point she was given vouchers for tanning sessions, rather than her brain. The podcast episode featured a lengthy chat between Meghan and Ms. Hilton, who became an icon for girls around the world in the late 1990s and early 2000s. The Duchess said she wanted to get to know the real Paris after the Hilton heiress was reduced to a party girl and blonde bimbo in the media. After speaking about her harrowing time at a boarding school, Ms. Hilton recalled becoming the star of one of the first reality shows ever aired, The Simple Life, while she was trying to build her brand. In it, she was assigned the role of the dumb blonde, while her friend and colleague Nicole Richie was given the label of the troublemaker. While Ms. Hilton had expected to do the show for one season, she eventually remained for 5 years and, she told Meghan, these labels of dumb and bimbo became tightly associated with her personality to the point that even outside of her show people who didn't know her closely were expecting her to be just as her reality show persona. The heiress told Meghan, I almost got stuck and lost in the character, and at some point it was like lines got blurred and it was like I forgot who I was. And it makes me sad because I used to be such a free spirit and I was not so closed off, and I feel like with just so many things that have happened to me over the years I just closed off in ways in my mind and I wish that it didn't happen. Going through trauma in life really affects you. The Duchess, touched, replied, for me, when you say it's sad, I think it's so sad you don't even get the opportunity. It makes me emotional even thinking about it. You don't get the opportunity to start to think about the woman you want to be with a blank slate, so then you come out into the world and they cast you in this thing that you end up feeling trapped in. Asked whether she ever came to the point to think she would not renew the reality show for another season, Ms. Hilton said she was having a lot of fun doing the show, which Meghan described as a silver lining. This episode of Archetypes comes as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex deal with Netflix has come once again under scrutiny ahead of the release of the 5th season of The Crown, which royal commentators fear may be hugely damaging for King Charles III and his wife Queen Camilla, given its episodes will focus on the unhappy marriage of the late Princess of Wales and will portray a fictionalized version of the royal events which took place in the early 1990s. Reports have been focused on a rumored at-home docu-series reportedly being created for the U.S. streaming platform by Meghan and Harry. While neither Netflix nor the Sussexes ever confirmed a similar program is in the works, it was previously reported the series was meant to debut on the streaming service shortly after The Crown, set to be released on November 9. However, Deadline wrote earlier this week the rumored docu-series has now been pushed back to 2023 by Netflix after it became rattled by a string of criticism in the media focusing on The Crown and its decision to portray it as drama real-life events so close in time. On each episode of Archetypes, first announced in March, Meghan and her guests, including experts and A-listers, analyze words and typecasts traditionally used to hold women back. Archetypes debuted with a conversation between the Duchess and Serena Williams focused on ambition and how the word can take a negative connotation when associated with women who strive to reach their goals and succeed. This episode raised eyebrows among royal watchers, as it included criticism against Buckingham Palace. Meghan claims she and her husband Prince Harry were asked to continue with their schedule of engagements on the first day of their tour to South Africa after it emerged a fire had broken out in the nursery room where their son Archie Harrison was supposed to be asleep. While the baby was not in the room when the incident happened and nobody was hurt, Meghan said many people at the residence were in shock. During the second episode of the show, the Duchess discussed with songwriter Mariah Carey the history of the word diva and how it gained a negative connotation with the passing of the years. While speaking with Ms. Carey, Meghan discussed growing up as a mixed-race girl in Los Angeles. Other topics discussed by Meghan during her show included the stigma surrounding single women, the trope of the dragon lady suffered by Asian women of those of Asian descent, and how easily the word crazy is thrown around in pop culture and everyday life despite the damaging stigma it carries.